How does racial discrimination affect the mental health of Black families? Have you ever wondered how racial discrimination impacts the mental health of Black families? This is a topic that deserves our attention. Racial discrimination can create a heavy burden on both adults and children in these families. It affects their emotional well-being and family dynamics in many ways. At its core, experiencing racial discrimination leads to chronic stress and psychological distress. This stress can come from overt acts of racism or from subtle interactions known as microaggressions. These are indirect comments or behaviors that unintentionally convey negative stereotypes. Over time, these microaggressions can chip away at self-esteem and identity, leading to feelings of marginalization and emotional pain. For Black parents, the impact of racial discrimination often goes beyond their own mental health. They worry about their children's safety and future. Concerns about their kids facing racial bias or even police violence can lead to increased anxiety and depression. This heightened worry can change how parents interact with their children, sometimes making them more protective or vigilant. Children and teenagers in Black families are especially vulnerable. They may experience racial trauma, which is the psychological harm caused by racism. This trauma can show up as trouble managing emotions, increased anger, anxiety, and even depression. Sadly, Black youth are at a higher risk for suicide attempts, with these rates rising significantly in recent years. Factors like exposure to racial discrimination, community violence, and economic hardship play a role in this troubling trend. In schools, Black children often face unfair disciplinary actions. Behaviors linked to trauma might be misinterpreted as defiance, leading to misdiagnosis of mental health issues. This can delay the help they need and worsen their emotional struggles. Access to mental health care is another major challenge. Black families are less likely to seek or receive mental health services. Barriers like lack of insurance, distrust of healthcare providers, and experiences of bias in the healthcare system make it difficult. When they do seek help, it is often in emergency situations rather than through ongoing treatment. Additionally, healthcare providers may not always understand cultural differences, which can lead to communication issues. Despite these challenges, many Black families find strength in their communities, family support, and spiritual resources. These connections can help them cope but may also delay seeking formal mental health treatment when necessary. Understanding how racial discrimination affects mental health is important for parenting in African American families. It highlights the need to create supportive environments that acknowledge experiences of racism. Parents can benefit from resources that help them spot signs of racial trauma in their children. They can also learn to advocate for fair treatment in schools and healthcare settings and find culturally competent mental health services. Racial discrimination impacts the mental health of Black families by causing chronic stress, trauma, and barriers to care. These factors influence parenting and child development. Addressing these effects requires awareness, support systems, and access to mental health resources that are sensitive to the unique experiences of Black families.